This is radio station. You guessed it. Archbishop Don Magic Juan. You inside the Archbishop Don Magic Juan radio show. Brought to you by yours truly, Snoop Dizzy. Radio rockin', Saturday night. Bishop is the DJ. You feeling alright? The radio rockin', Saturday night. Bishop is the DJ. You feeling alright?
Here, it's called Your Blueprint.
Yes.
Is this talking personally to the person that have the book, or is this your blueprint? Or?
Yes, absolutely. I'm teaching everybody who reads that book to create their own blueprint. So it's your blueprint that you're going to be creating once you read that book.
Okay, well, tell us something about it. I'm letting my viewers see it right here. Tell us about this book. I like it. It's got a lot of pages, and you seem to be excited, and you got some good, statement by different individuals that, blessing you about your work and everything. So tell us about the book, your blueprint.
Thank you. Well, first of all, the book's going to be released on the first of the year, 1/1/2013.
Wait. Tell us about you first, and then about the book, how all of this come along, let us know about you.
Awesome. Well, my start was actually in radio 12 years ago at 100.3 The Beat. I started as an intern for Keisha Monk back in the day.
Okay.
And from there, 3 months later, Steve Harvey offered me a job, and I worked for Steve Harvey for 9 years. And I did everything from produce radio to TV. And I started my own PR company, LVG PR, in 2006 after I graduated from USC. And I was living in New York, and Steve sent me on a meeting with Marvette Brito, one of the biggest PR women, and on another meeting with Steve Stout, one of the biggest branding guys out there. And I loved it so much that I was like, you know what? I want to start a company, a PR and branding company. And I did. I moved back to LA. I started my company, and all of a sudden, I had more clients than I know what to do with.
That's great.
And a ton of magazines wanted to write about me, and I would say, about me? Like, why? They would say, your story's amazing. One of the things that I should mention is that both of my parents were in jail from the time I was 14 to roughly about 22.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind to say what for?
No, of course not. They were in jail for selling drugs. Okay. And it was a really difficult time. They were never drug dealers. It was just something that happened. And then after they were released, and, it was a difficult situation. But what was important about that is that I was able to get the lesson. And the lesson for me that God intended was that we're supposed to walk alone, and that nothing is promised, and that your parents don't have to give you everything, and that you have to figure it out on your own. And that was my lesson from that.
And that is a great testimony. And you said from the time you was 14 years old?
Yeah, from the time I was a freshman in high school.
So, it's amazing to go through such a struggle and be able to come out with such a positive attitude, such as this book. Just some of the things that you're saying now. What encouraged you to keep driving? What really driven you to, accomplish all of these things that you have done? Because you got a great story here.
Thank you. My parents. They instilled in me morals and dignity, and to hold my head up high, and to never let anybody tell me what I couldn't achieve because of who my parents were or who they thought they were. So I give all of my credit to my parents.
And that's amazing. And, we speaking on that here with Zoe about parents, giving understanding to their kids. And that's what I think a lot of that is lacking today, because a lot of kids don't get an opportunity to get that kind of love, to get that kind of training, to get that kind of understanding, except for finding it in the streets, and they don't give the pure understanding of what really love is. It's an abusive kind of love that they didn't get at home, and they don't know it by getting it in the street. And
I agree.
Sometimes parents are just so busy.
Yeah.
And they can't spend more time with their kids. It's awesome to spend time with your kid. Get to know them better.
I agree.
Some parents think that, I already know my kid. Sometimes You just don't.
Yeah.
And that is sure enough a lot of truth there, Zoe, you know what I mean? But it's just so amazing that the thing that she went through, like she say, you know, when you got the Lord, He'll take you on that journey. Sometimes you won't have your mother, sometimes you won't have your father, but you still should pursue your dream.
Exactly. You know, the people that what I can't stand is when I speak to somebody and they say, the first thing that comes out of their mouth, I didn't have a dad growing up. Oh, my mom doesn't love me. Or, oh, this. I don't care. You know, I come from the worst story. You know, not to mention all of the people that died on me or, you know, committed suicide or I saw die or run over, you know, I've seen a lot. But instead of saying, oh, well, because of this, I said, because of that, I am going to succeed. I am going to make it. And I did.
Definitely.
And that's some amazing strength, you know. Where did you, I mean, you say your parents instilled this, but
Yes.
it's such a strength that you have to have in order to accomplish all of these things, you know, to go through school and all of this without, you know, the help of your parents. You know, how was all of this accomplished?
My faith in God. You know, one thing that my parents put in me, they said, you know, first we were Christians, then we were Catholics, and then after that, and I was 7 years old, and they said, God is with you every single day. We don't have to go to church so that you could speak to Him. And from that moment on, from 7 years on, I had a conversation with God every single day, several times. So instead of resorting to, like, if I had an issue at school with the boyfriend or with the friend, instead of going and gossiping with everybody else, I would just be quiet, be still, talk to God, and He would bring me the answer. And that's how I was able to catapult and be here at 29. You know, I've been in this business 12 years, and I've achieved so much more than so many people who are twice my age. And I always say it's because I'm not out in the clubs every single night. I'm at home studying, I'm reading books, and in the morning, guess what? I'm doing my job.
So if somebody wanted to reach you, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of people, we're here in Hollywood, and a lot of people definitely need PR. They need somebody to represent them. They need somebody, and, you know, a lot of people don't just have the money. It really costs, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What avenues could they take? What could they do?
Well, here's the thing. That's the reason why I started LVG PR, because I started to see, you know, when you look at the magazines, who's on the magazines? And then that goes into, you know, who's going to be picked up to do this movie or this TV show. And I just didn't think that it was fair that urban people don't have enough money to pay for the huge retainers that, you know, Rogers and Cowan's asked for. So I said, well, let me start a small PR company to, you know, take care of the people that are asking me for help anyways. So I started it there, and before I knew it, everybody was coming to Music Soul Child, Terrence J, Cupid. And then I was like, okay, well, this is going so fast, I just need to hire more people. The first thing that people need to do, you know, I actually wrote down 3 tips for pyramid toppers. You know, because my clients have been from Roy Jones Jr. to Terry Kennedy to one of my clients now is 93.5K Day, and I do their concerts because I get, you know, a little bored because PR is pretty easy for me now, and I like to have fun. I don't like to live a boring life. That's why I wasn't a lawyer. But here are the 3 main tips for pyramid toppers. Choose your team wisely, please. You know, just because you came up with all of your friends doesn't mean that they all have to come up with you. Make sure that your security is on his job. Make sure that your manager is doing their job, your assistant, your PR, your agent. Make sure you know the business. Make sure you know that a manager is supposed to get a percentage and not a fee a month. Make sure you know, just all of those things. Number 2, you need a financial advisor. You know, I've had the ability to sit in the room with Steve Harvey when he's given advice to, you know, Nick Cannon, T.I. And, you know, one thing that I've heard him repeat over and over again is there's no book for overnight millionaire success when you're an artist. What do you do? So I urge people to get a financial advisor so that way, you know, when the tax man comes, all of a sudden you're not in trouble and you're not owing more than what you have. And finally, tip number 3, because we are in 2012, almost 2013, your online presence is more important than anything. Right. You know, when I started PR, it used to be more important to get people magazine features. Now, I don't care about magazine features. What I care more about is this radio show because it's online. What I care about is online websites. What I care about is online magazines because that's what's now. What people need to be careful about your online presence, I mean, on your Facebook page. If you're an up-and-coming artist and you're drunk in every picture, if you're high in every picture, and you're just trying to make it, don't post those pictures. A record rep is not going to want to rep you and be your babysitter. You know, once you get to the top, then do whatever you want. Who cares? But on your way up, just be very careful what you post out there. So those would be my 3 main tips.
Well, see, right here on the Don Juan Radio Show, you know, I always try to find a way to make it easier for my viewers and listeners. And she just explained some great topics. You go by them 3 steps, you can't lose with the stuff Elvira used. And it's, hey, I'm telling you it's live. But I got to get back to some music. I know we got somebody calling. And, you know, we're going to keep Elvira here till the last minute. I know Zoe got to get that nap in, you know what I mean? So I'm going to go back to some music right quick, and then we're going to keep Elvira. This very interesting. She got a great story. And I hope y'all listening, call somebody and tell them we are on there at 323-965-1600, rmconair.com. Huh, Zoe?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, it's live. Happy New Year to everybody. I want to thank my guests so much for being in the house tonight. Zoe, Lisa, Guzman.
Hi.
Thank y'all so much for coming. You know, wow, time be tight because I really wanted to hear some more of your story. You're going to have to come back sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah, give us some more of that. Wow, you just teased us enough. So how can they reach you to get these books, you know, Facebook? You know, how can they reach you?
Yes, for PR, you could go to lvgpr.com. That's ELVIEGPR.com. And to buy the book, you could go to www.elviraguzman.com. That's www.elviraguzman.com.
God bless you. And it's Church Preach Tabernacle. And that's the only way we're going to get in action around here. You dig?
Yes.
Thank you.
Amen.
Where your children's at? Find your children.
Year.
Find your children.
And let all dissension